Hey everybody, how's it going today? It's Frankie here and I'm back with another movie review. And oh boy, that movie is probably the most awkward and most painful movie I've ever seen. Painful in like a terrible way. Just in a boring or awful way, man. This is the definition of that movie right there that I've seen. This is the definition of it right here. This emoji. I'm not even joking. I don't even know what. I even felt embarrassed watching it. Oh my goodness, why do I put myself watching these terrible movies? I mean, I don't mind if it's terrible where it could just make me face palm and laugh like this. But it was terrible as in like, it made me feel awkward. And kind of a bit like cringe-worthy as well. How do I describe it? The movie is called Polar. There's not much to describe in this movie. It's an hour and 20, but it feels so short. And knowing me, I probably might take my time to explain this movie, even though there's no need to. So, it's about this eccentric guy called Robin, and his life is so depressing and miserable. Not necessarily clear why. Especially the description of the movie as well that I read on the site. It wasn't as clear to me in the movie. And yes, you can imagine why it was so depressing for me, especially watching it. So, oh man, I don't know what to feel about it. And he has this friend called Steve. I thought Steve was going to be the one to push him into the right direction. It didn't work out that way. It just starts with him and Steve talking. And then it cuts to this, like, them having a drink at night. And then Robin tries to talk to these girls. And he's very awkward. Doesn't mention in the description that he's socially awkward. It just mentions that he's just eccentric. Which I'm not surprised there. He does act like it. So he usually makes a fool of himself. He goes back to his house and his house looks groggy. Oh my god, you don't see much of it, but oh god, this guy must be poor somewhere, surely. And then he gets a call from Steve to that because Steve is the one that helps him with the job. I think that partners or something like that. And then he tells me you got to be aware, you got to be prepared. Well, I mean, I'm socially awkward myself, but this is on a different level, man. Seriously. And this guy's so ill prepared because he was drinking. Steve, in that case, he was even having a bit of a drink. He was more heavily drunk than he was, but at least he managed to. He was still in better shape in the next day, especially for working. And Robin goes there, and then he has to get a suit and then shoes or whatever it is and what else he needs. He forgot all of that, so he had to borrow Steve's suit. And then the work, after the work, he talks to this girl on the train called Daisy, right? They don't introduce themselves, but you find their names, you find out her name anyway later on. It was so awkward. He's like, so what are you doing there? So you work at a supermarket that I saw you at, and what are you going to do in that place? What's the plans? It's like, this guy came across as creepy and awkward. I thought she was going to react to it, oh, can you get away from me please? She was actually liking that. It felt painful for me to watch, but it's like this. Not even I'm like that. And even I can be socially awkward and I want to be. I mean, especially with strangers, that's a different story. But even I can make a better conversation than that. This guy's kind of like me from 12 years ago. This guy's like in his 40s or something, and still he can't socialise like that. He might be eccentric. Eccentric people I've seen more sociable than that. And he gets off the train. So you're like, okay, these two are going to date. Didn't work out like that, but you know what I mean when I get into it. And then there's like a party that also is, he goes to, Steve's house and there's a party there. And he, gets introduced to 3 dudes and gets introduced to these girls as well. I mean, Jenny and I think it's Emily, I think. Jenny's Steve's wife and Emily is one of the dude's wives anyway. You'll know later on. And then he goes back home or something like that. It's just a very awkward it's a very painful and it's very painful like movie to watch, and to actually it felt weird. And then he, another scene where he has a date, and he has a date with I forgot this woman's name now. Even I'm doing it, and he's so rude. He said he goes on a date and he doesn't have any money. I know some people don't have money. I know people are struggling with money in this day and age, but come on, man. I mean, some people struggle like that. This is the thing. I know a lot of people do, but not in that terms. If you go on the date, you just make some money, and he says, "Oh, you know, because I have a round up mines as well, I could pay for that too. I don't have any money for this." He does make good ultimatum. If he asks if you can, you get this round of drinks, I'll get the rest. Going back to my place. And then when they start talking about movies, oh Lord, that's mad. Oh my God. This guy's not just eccentric, he's obnoxious the way he talks. And he sounds rude. I know he don't mean it, but he sounds really like can be a better conversation than that. And he got back to the place, and then he wakes up next to her, and then he just starts treating himself like a hookup. She was heavily invested in his hobby, and he just turned around and just ignored her. Acted like she was just some sort of random stranger. I mean, she is when they were on a date, but oh man, it's depressing. It felt like I was there. That's how it felt. And he sees Daisy again having a drink. This won't be in chronological order. I'm just giving out, some like some of the main bits anyway. And then he gets told to do another job for Steve, and then and he goes out, and then obviously Jenny's there. I think Jenny's there. Yeah, Jenny. I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it probably is another woman's name, but correct me if I'm wrong. And he gets put in this outfit, and he goes out, and Steve's wife just throws him out because she told him not to come back again. Oh my goodness, man! And then she throws him out, and he has to walk all the way to where he needs to walk to, and then comes back and he sees Steve there, and then Steve just like has a go at him because he says, "Oh, were you in my wife's panty job?" Blah, blah. Then obviously Robin says, "No, I wasn't. There's some guy walking out there." I don't think they were going to work together again after that. I mean, I don't know what else to say about this movie. There's another scene where he actually got rooted to this dude called Jamie or whoever it was, and that scene as well just made me a bit awkward, especially when you try making a fool of himself with those girls and you're trying to sing a song with he's he writes music and he makes movies. He was critical of this Jamie dude talking about IT. I would have said IT is difficult. I'm not necessarily a fan of IT, but hell, it's difficult. But he said, "Oh, I just felt like I wanted to off myself. Oh, it's just horrible. People complaining, blah blah." He's lucky he didn't get absolutely battered by him. I thought that was gonna happen. Aside from the drug part where he was still snorting, drugs and whatever. But yeah, weird. Jamie just says he makes 100k. I don't know if it's a month, but yeah, I would assume it's like a year, or whatever it is. Yeah. Don't really understand. What Robin's playing at here. It's super awkward. It is. I mean, Steve's not necessarily a good example of a friend. I don't really know how he's still keeping it together with what he's doing as well. I really don't understand how he's doing that. There was even a moment in that movie where he got on the wrong train. I think a lot of us have done that actually, to be honest. But he's not with it. I'm even surprised he managed to actually get to a job, and he's on dating profiles and stuff wow. There's another scene in the movie where he sees Daisy just there, and she's just having a bit of a drink and smoking as well. I think maybe she has similar issues, so that's probably what it is, and he's more comfortable around as I've noticed. So if I am missing a few bits out of the movie, it's just there's not much to explain. I'm trying to make it as long as possible. But yeah, you even had to call this dude. There was another. He called up some strange dude. Went to house and the dude is like, "Come in. You can't stay for long." Goes in, he's like, "Oh, you see that car there? There's a car parked there." And Robin's like, "What are you talking about?" "There's a car parked over there." "What?" "Yeah, it's just I had just a vibe about it, And he said, "You want tea?" And then he didn't even get time to drink any tea. He just wanted to give him a tea bag afterwards. What the hell was this movie? I don't know what. I think Robin might have asked for drugs or something like that. I have no clue what he asked for. literally, I don't understand what's going on in this movie. And then at the end bit, you just like, I think he's, wanted to rent a part. I mean, I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, he went up some stairs, and there was like, he went at this what was it? No, a supermarket. He tried to look for Daisy, and then comes out and he just sees Daisy standing there, and it just ended. What? Now, what the hell? I never understood the whole point of it. He's eccentric, but it didn't make any sense. What the hell was going on? We never understood the real reason why he's struggling. I would assume it's the obvious. We never actually know if he actually gets with Daisy. And I thought that was going to be the end of the movie, right? The way he sorts himself out. It just ended. He just walks in and just says hi to her. Weird. One odd movie. It's just depressing and sad. Nothing happens. Odd. I mean, I wouldn't say it's odd as in that it's. I mean, I wouldn't put in the same category as weird, but it's weird how it ended. Just it's so, and the characters. Well, I understand it has to be depressing, but it's meant to be. It was under comedy. This movie is under genre comedy. There was nothing funny. Not one scene I had to say anything funny. This should have been under drama. That's what it should have been under, because I would never watched it if I knew it would have been this bad. I mean, I can handle terrible movies to an extent where it's not this depressing. I know as a word eccentric, but make it funnier. Doesn't matter if it's a comedy that's about someone that's depressed. They make it funny. This is just one of the most depressing, cringiest, and most awkward movies I've ever seen. It felt like I was there. I was just doing this. It's so awkward. What the hell was he trying to do? I think that's all I remember. I mean, that another scene of him passing out in a field as well. I don't know how he ends up getting back home. You have another scene trying to talk to Daisy as well when he's drinking as well. I just don't get it. I mean, the rudeness of him as well is kind of I think it's like a defense mechanism because of how badly sociable he is, that he doesn't like small talk, and he gets a bit surprised when he does talk to him. But come on, I mean, I get it, right? I mean, I get the whole storyline and stuff, but we just never understood why he is the way he is. I mean, Dominic Jackson, I don't mean to call you out on this. What were you thinking making a movie like this? Where's the humour? I mean, unless the website put the movie under the wrong genre, but it says comedy. I have no idea what I just watched. Nothing happened. Nothing much happened. It's quite easy to explain. You know what? Even if I did miss parts, I don't know how to forget easy. It's now 1:20. There's a lot that goes into a movie. A lot of scenes and dialogue and stuff like that. There's a lot to take in movies. But what were you thinking? There's no humour in this. The only good thing you can say is that you put it up there, right? Which I admire and respect you for. But anybody can put a movie up there nowadays. Even someone that's making a school or college project, they could just put it up there. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's a college or uni thing. Maybe not necessarily a school project, but maybe it's a college or uni project. They could put it up there. No matter how bad it is because they made a movie, but I think you're professional, mate. This is not. I mean, the camera work as well. I feel like I was watching a found footage movie. If I'm being honest, I mean, I know it's normal for cameras to be like that, but let's be honest, it just felt so dull and bland. It felt like it made me want to jump out the window. It really did. What else can I say? That's really most of the movie anyway. I think I summarized it enough. Man, there's nothing much else to say. Is there? Rating? Oh, wow. Wish I could put 0. Non-existent. I mean, the only thing you could say is that the dude, at least he's a good actor. I don't know who played him. I don't know. I don't know if it was you, Dominic, because sometimes directors or producers can play the main character in a movie or a show. What do I rate this? This is one of the most worst movies I've seen. I don't know how I put myself through this. I suppose it's better because all of you guys don't have to watch it. Not all of you people, that's a bit rude, but all of you guys, at least will have to watch it. This shouldn't have gone on longer, this video. You know what? Who cares to it? 1 out of 10. Yes, it is probably the worst movie I've seen, period. Nothing happening. I've seen more action like an hour and 15-minute movie than anything. Yeah. What more can I say? Everything needs to be improved. The main character, you could say, is the only thing where he was close to being an eccentric person, but that's not an eccentric person. Not that I remember. Surely not. Eccentric people act a bit more over the top. This guy's more depressed, so everything should change. But at least I gave it a watch. An hour and 20, I can't want to watch something a bit short. I'll probably watch a longer movie at some point. It's just that website, man. It just gives me some terrible movie options. Now, you know what? Yeah, I stand by the rating. 1 out of 10 it is. If you enjoyed the video, please give a like, comment, share what you know, subscribe and hit the notification below as I see you in my next video.